This needed to happen.
What have you done?
There's nothing more peaceful than finally taking a week off after years of hard work, or so I thought. I left my quiet neighborhood in Oregon for a short vacation to visit my sister in Florida. Everything seemed perfect until my phone rang on the third day, and the trembling voice of my neighbor shattered my peace. "Ethan, I think you need to come home. She's bulldozing your house." Welcome to Silent Divide Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe because you don't want to miss tomorrow's story. At first, I thought it was a joke. Karen, the self-proclaimed queen of the HOA, had always been controlling, but it didn't make sense. My house had passed every inspection, and I'd paid every HOA fee early. But the panic in my neighbor's voice told me it was real. I grabbed my keys, my bag, and booked the first flight home. The flight felt endless. Every minute my chest grew tighter as I imagined my home, the one I built with my late wife, being torn apart. By the time the plane landed, I was shaking. I didn't know it yet, but Karen had crossed a line she could never step back from. Before we dive in deeply, let us know in the comments what country or which city you're watching this story from. We'd love to know how far this story travels. The cab driver barely stopped before I jumped out in front of my street. My stomach dropped. There was nothing but dust, rubble, and splintered wood where my house once stood. My front porch, my mailbox, even the white fence I painted last spring gone. The smell of diesel fuel hung in the air, and the ground was littered with crushed furniture, broken photo frames, and torn insulation. Neighbors stood silently at the edge of the street, some recording, others whispering. And there in the middle of it all stood Karen, arms crossed, clipboard in hand, like she was proud of it. She turned when she saw me. "Oh, Ethan, you're back early," she said with a grin that made my blood boil. "Back early?" I snapped, stepping closer. "You destroyed my home, Karen. What the hell did you do?" She didn't flinch. "The HOA board approved this. Your property was declared non-compliant with structural safety standards. You should have read the notices." "There were no notices," I yelled. "I checked my mail before I left." Karen sighed dramatically, pretending to pity me. "Maybe you missed them, but it's done now." The sound of my roof collapsing behind her cut through my chest like glass. I stood there, frozen. My home, the one my wife and I saved every penny to build, was nothing but a pile of broken boards and twisted metal. Karen's bulldozer idled nearby, its engine still rumbling like a monster that wasn't done feeding. I clenched my fists. "Karen, you've gone too far. I'm calling the police." She smirked. "Go ahead, I have the paperwork." And just like that, she turned away, barking orders to the driver to clear the debris. The man hesitated, looking guilty, but followed her command. I pulled out my phone, recording everything. The operator on the emergency line picked up, and I explained what happened. They promised to send someone immediately. As I waited, I saw my neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, walking up slowly. She was shaking her head. "Ethan, she came here 2 days ago with a city truck and said she had a demolition permit. I thought you knew." "She forged it," I muttered, my jaw tightening. "She had to." When the police finally arrived, Karen's confident smile returned. "Officers, I'm the HOA president. Everything was approved." But when they asked for her permit papers, her voice cracked for the first time. Karen's hands trembled slightly as she pulled a crumpled document from her clipboard. One of the officers, a tall man with a calm but firm voice, took it and stepped aside to look it over. His partner leaned close to me. "You said you were out of town when this happened?" "Yeah," I replied, my voice still unsteady. 3 days. She didn't have permission to touch a single nail on that property." The first officer came back with a look that said everything. "Ma'am," he said, facing Karen, "this permit doesn't check out. The signature from the city inspector is fake, and this form was never filed officially." Karen's face went pale. but she tried to laugh it off. There must be a misunderstanding. I've handled dozens of projects like this. Not anymore, you haven't, the officer said. You'll need to come with us while we sort this out. The bulldozer driver backed away slowly, muttering, I told her this didn't feel right. I watched as the officers led her to the patrol car. For once, she wasn't smirking. The neighbors who had feared her for years stood in stunned silence. But deep down, I knew this was far from over. The next few weeks were chaos. Investigations, insurance claims, and endless interviews filled my days. The HOA board tried to distance themselves, claiming they had no idea what Karen had done. But the evidence said otherwise. Fake emails, altered letters, and false votes she'd fabricated all pointed back to her. When the news broke, it spread like wildfire. Local channels ran the headline, HOA president orders illegal demolition of homeowner's property. Cameras lined our street. For the first time, people spoke out about Karen, the threats, the bullying, the fines for petty things like garden colors and mailbox shapes. She'd ruled by fear, and now her empire was crumbling. A month later, I watched from the courthouse steps as she was sentenced. Fraud, property destruction, abuse of authority, all listed clearly. Her face was blank, but the tears came when the judge ordered restitution. She'd lost everything, her position, her home, her freedom. As for me, I rebuilt. Same spot, same blueprint, stronger this time. Every hammer swing felt like justice. Sometimes I still hear the echo of the bulldozer, but it no longer haunts me. It reminds me that no one, not even an HOA tyrant, is above the law. The end. Please like and subscribe for more rich stories like this. Comment below. What city or country you're watching from. We'd love to know where our viewers are tuning in from.